Today, I'm going to show you how to create Venomous Tentacula Leaves. The things we will need for our Venomous Tentacula Leaves is one tin mint container, and I'm using a recycled Altoids Mint container. It's got a nice hinge on it, it's the perfect size, and a very similar shape to the style of the container that Slughorn uses in Half-Blood prints. We're then going to need some spray paint, and I am using a metallic bronzy brown color and a black spray paint, and these are some leftover spray paint from when I created the stacked cauldrons last year. But if you don't have spray paint, or if you don't have access to be able to paint it easily, you could definitely use acrylic paint. I just felt like this would give it a more even coat and dry a little bit quicker than the acrylic can sometimes, especially when you're painting metal. So we're going to go with those, and then we're also going to need some ModPodge. It does not matter whether it's glossy, matte finish, whatever. We're just going to use it to even out some areas on the tin. Then we're going to need a cooking skewer, some scissors. I'm going to use some black crepe paper. You may recognize this from my Nightmare Before Christmas jars, but you could use tissue paper, anything like that. It's just going to be a base for the inside of our box. Then we will need some silk leaves to be our tentacula leaves, or you could use dried real leaves if you'd like as well. And finally, our labels printed on sticker paper, and the link for this is in the description down below. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take our Altoid tin, and because the word Altoids is embossed on the lid of the box, you can kind of see it better from the reverse, I want to take some Mod Podge and level that out. So when I stick my label on here, it's not going to show the Altoids through the label. I want it to have a little bit more of a level playing field, and it's not to say that this will be perfectly level. It may have some bumps, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't want it to show the word Altoids. So to do that, all we're going to do is take our Mod Podge, and I am just going to squeeze some on here. And then I'm going to take my cooking skewer, and I'm going to kind of push it so that the edge of the box, so the gold is kind of embossed as well, so it should kind of act as a little bit of a barrier. And I just want to push this into all the little crevices of the box so that when it dries, it just kind of raises this whole area's shape up. And at the same time, gets rid of the word Altoids. Okay, so once our whole top is completely filled in with the Mod Podge, we're going to let this sit and dry. It takes a good couple hours for this to dry completely, and you'll know it when it's completely dry because it'll dry clear. So we're going to let this dry, and we'll come right back. Okay, so now that our Mod Podge has dried completely, you can see that it's clear now, and we just have this really great overall bumpy uniform texture on here, and it hides the embossing of the word Altoids. So when we place our label on here, it's going to have a better surface to stick to, so we're not going to see that it's a recycled container. It's completely optional. You don't have to do it. I just thought it was a great way to kind of hide that embossing a little bit and to give it a little bit more of a finished, clean look. Now we're going to go ahead and start to spray paint this. Okay, so now that our Mod Podge has dried, I'm going to go ahead and take my black spray paint and I'm going to completely cover the box. And then once that dries, I'm going to go ahead and do a very light spritz of the bronze brown metallic spray paint. Okay, so now that our container has dried after being spray painted, you see we got a really great black and bronze finish, and we actually got a little bit of cracking, and that's probably because I didn't let the paint dry long enough in between coats, but I actually really like it. I think it gave it a really cool aged look, and just kind of adds to the effect of the box. So now that we have our box painted and looking a little bit more vintage, we're going to go ahead and add our labels to the box. Okay, so as always, I have my label printed on sticker paper, and I went around the outside edge with a matching marker, again, just to give it more of a finished look. And as you can see, when we did our Mod Podge, it really bumped that whole section up, and I tried to make my label to mimic that, so that when we place it on, it'll just look like the whole thing is raised. Okay, so now that we have our outside label placed on our box, I'm going to go ahead and work on the inside of the box. So as you can see, we still have the word that says Altoids on the inside. So our inside label that looks like it was written by Slughorn is going to go ahead and go right over the word Altoids so that you won't see that from the inside. And if you wanted to spray paint the inside of the box, you definitely could. I didn't really feel like it was necessary. I kind of like that it got a little bit of overspray on the inside. I think it just kind of adds to the element of the box. And then we're going to add the crepe paper to the bottom of the box before we put our leaves in here. Okay, and now that we have some of our black in the bottom of the box, and I just kind of wanted to roughly place it in there, I feel like Slughorn doesn't do anything super meticulously except for make potions, so I feel like all of his bottles have kind of haphazardly placed labels. They're kind of filled with either just like plastic or paper or things like that, so I feel like this would be similar to what he might have in the inside of the box, so it wasn't just the tin. And then from here, all we're going to do is take some of our fake leaves and we're just going to place them in the box. So I kind of like some of these that have a little bit of the stem on there, but you know, like I said, you could use dried leaves, you could use any type of little fake leaf that you think will work, and we're just going to trim some of these right off and place them in our container, similar to the way Slughorn did from the greenhouse. And once we get our leaves in our container, we can go ahead and close it up. And there you have it, our Venomous Tentacula Leaves. These will be a great addition to our potion prop collection we've been making along the way. So if you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.